Most retirees believe that healthcare or entertainment eats up their budgets, but the numbers tell a different story. In 2023, Americans over 65 years old spent more on cash gifts and insurance premiums than on movies, vacations, or even doctor visits. And that's just the beginning. Welcome to The Unretired, where you're not done, but you're finally doing what you want. Today, I'll reveal the top 5 biggest expenses quietly draining your retirement and how to take control before it's too late. But before we dive deeper, tap the like and subscribe button. It tells me that you want more no-fluff insights on making retirement money last further. All right, let's get into this. Most people assume that healthcare or maybe entertainment takes the biggest bite out of retirement spending. But the truth, the real budget drainers are hiding in plain sight, and they're not what you think. These 5 categories don't just appear in the budget, they basically dominate it. Together, they eat up about 78.3% of retirees' spending. So let's break them down, starting with the smallest slice and working our way up to the biggest. All right, first up, cash contributions. They take up just 3.1% of the budget, but don't be fooled by the small number. This is one of the most personal and emotional spending categories in retirement. It covers things like gifts to family, church donations, charitable donations, or even helping a grandchild through college. Now here's the catch. Because generosity feels natural, many retirees don't track it very closely. It doesn't feel like an expense the way groceries or bills do. It feels like love, responsibility, or faith. But over time, those little gifts can snowball into thousands. So how do you keep generosity from derailing your retirement? Well, first off, I recommend setting a giving budget. Just like you plan for food, housing, decide in advance what you're comfortable giving each year. That way, you're saying yes to generosity without saying no to your own security. Next thing is maximize the tax advantages. Keep receipts for charitable gifts, or even consider tools like donor-advised funds. They can help you stretch your giving while lowering your tax bill. Next is be honest with your family. That's super important. If you're helping loved ones, talk openly about what you can and, more importantly, what you cannot commit to. Sometimes setting boundaries is the best gift that you can give your family. And next, automate wisely. Setting up recurring donations or planned gifts ensures your generosity is consistent but stays within your budget and you can afford it. Remember, giving feels good. We all love it. But giving wisely assures you can keep giving for years to come. Next up, personal insurance and pensions. This category takes up 12.4% of retiree spending. And at first glance, it sounds like pure protection, life insurance, annuities, long-term care policies. It feels like you're buying peace of mind. But what you may overlook is that many retirees continue paying for coverage that they no longer need, or worse, that they're overinsured out of total fear. That means thousands of dollars in premiums slipping away each year, money that could have been fueling travel, hobbies, or even more comfortable daily life. So how do you make insurance work for you and not against you? Well, first off, audit your coverage every few years. Your needs change dramatically after retirement. A policy that made sense at 45 may be completely irrelevant and unnecessary at age 70. The second thing is eliminate duplicates. Some retirees unknowingly pay for overlapping coverage, like multiple policies when dependents are already financially independent. The next is weigh the opportunity costs. Ask, if I didn't spend $300 a month on this policy, where could that money go instead? Sometimes redirecting it into an emergency fund or investments brings more peace of mind. And lastly, seek independent advice. A fee-only financial planner, one that doesn't have a commission-based motivation, can help cut through all the noise and figure out which policies are truly protecting you versus those that are just draining your money. Remember, insurance should provide security, not guilt. The right coverage protects your future, but the wrong coverage literally just steals from your presence. And now let's talk about food, the next item. 12.9% of a retiree budget. It's not just groceries, it's coffee runs, it's dinners out, and lunches with friends. Food is one of the expenses where your wallet and your lifestyle collide. The tricky part is that food is both essential and emotional. Sharing a meal with friends isn't just about the calories, it's about the connection. And that's why retirees often underestimate this category. Eating out 3 nights a week might not feel extravagant, but over a year, it It can add up to several, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Money that could have gone to travel, hobbies, or savings. So how do you keep food as a source of joy without draining your retirement accounts? First off, build a joy budget for food. Cook at home most of the time, but deliberately set aside money for dining out so you can enjoy it guilt-free and you can still enjoy those important breaking bread moments with friends. And that way, treats, they feel like freedom and not a financial slip-up. Next is be subscription aware. Meal kits are really popular and delivery apps are super convenient, but sneaky expensive over time. Ask yourself, are you paying for convenience? Are you just avoiding a habit change? Next, shop with strategy. Buying in bulk, sticking to a meal plan, reducing waste can easily shave 10 to 20% off your monthly grocery costs. Lastly, think of health as wealth. Every dollar spent on nutritious food is an investment in fewer doctor visits later. That's money saved and more energy to enjoy retirement. Food should do two things. First, it should fuel your body, and second, it should feed your happiness. Food is joy. When you align both, you're eating smart and you're living smart. Hey, before we continue, I'm curious, how do you spend your money on food? Where do you splurge when you're eating? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing the stories, and other viewers can certainly relate. Next up is transportation, the second biggest retiree expense at 17% of the budget. Cars represent freedom, the open road, the ability to visit friends, grandkids, or just head out whenever and wherever you like. But here's the truth. That freedom actually comes at a price. You got car insurance, gas, repairs, registration, and car payments. They all quietly add up. And many retirees keep two cars just in case, even if one sits in the driveway most of the time. And older cars, well, they might feel paid off, but when the transmission or air conditioning goes out, those repairs can wipe out months of savings in a single shot. So how do you keep your mobility without letting it drain your wallet? Well, I call this rethinking your fleet. Downsizing to one reliable car often makes more sense than holding on to two. One car used well is better than two cars collecting dust and bills. Or do like I do and keep two old SUVs for 10 years. I don't mind two cars when I don't have payments and their combined book value isn't worth very much. Next up, crunch the numbers honestly. In many cases, selling an underused car and using rideshare or renting a car occasionally or community transit when needed actually saves a lot of money. You only pay when you actually use it. And the last thing about transportation is embrace the alternatives. Try walking. I mean, we actually have the time to get places slowly. So walking, biking, or even carpooling with neighbors is not a downgrade. It's healthier, even more social, and oftentimes way more affordable to stay mobile. So no question that mobility is vital in retirement, but mobility doesn't always mean two cars in the driveway. It means making choices that keep you free, but also financially steady. And our final budget, topping the list at a staggering 32.9% of retiree spending is, you guessed it, housing. Nearly 1/3 of our entire budget, more than food, transportation, and insurance combined. Housing costs go way beyond the mortgage too. There's property taxes, which rise as home values rise. There's insurance premiums, which have been creeping up at an alarming rate the last several years due to natural disasters. And of course, utilities are going to keep climbing. And even if your house is paid off, stuff like roofs, they still leak, appliances break, and lawns still need mowing. The catch is that many retirees are living in homes that don't match their lives anymore. The kids are grown and gone, but the 4-bedroom house still racks up the bills. Empty rooms still need to be cooled, heated, and maintained. And in other words, your money's tied up in square footage you're not even using anymore. So, what do you do about it? First off, I always recommend looking at downsizing strategically. Can you move to a smaller, more manageable home that reduces your cost, stress, and more importantly, the maintenance headaches? Less space to clean means more time to live. The next thing is relocate smartly. Many retirees cut expenses dramatically by moving to a more affordable city or state, even countries, without sacrificing the quality of life. Next, turn space into income. If you have unused rooms, can you rent them out? A basement or even a garage apartment can transform idle space into steady cash flow that's super helpful in your retirement and stretching your dollars. And last, Rethink aging in place. Sometimes it's cheaper to retrofit your home for accessibility than to move, especially if the location matters more than the size. The goal isn't to trim expenses. It's about freeing up resources for what actually makes retirement fulfilling. It's the travel, the hobbies, the health, and the time with your family. Your house should serve you in retirement, not the other way around. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe so that you'll be in a front row seat for more retirement insights every week. All right, let's wrap this up. So there you have it, the 5 categories that swallow up nearly 80% of all retiree spending. Some are obvious, others are surprisingly hidden, but together they shape almost every financial decision in retirement. I want to stress, the key isn't to nickel and dime every coffee or every shared meal with friends. It's to take control of these big levers, because every dollar you reclaim here is a dollar you can redirect towards the life that you actually want.